Question for you. You're now sitting on over 100,000 Instagram followers.
Yeah.
9.5 million podcast downloads.
Yes.
You know, YouTube channel. And so it's easy for people to maybe look at you and be like, okay, well, you could talk with tips and strategies, but like, I'm starting from scratch. Mm-hmm. What would you do today, this year, if you had to start over? What would be the first couple things you do to build up your brand and your influence?
I would do two things. I would, one, find the person that inspired me the most that I wanted to emulate in the business world or whatever world I'm going into, and pay them to work for them for free. I would pay them and say, I want to work for you for free.
Yeah.
And I want to give you money for me to work.
Wow, yeah.
I would do that over a master's, like going to school. I would find the best in the world that I'm inspired by. So if maybe it was Gary Vaynerchuk, I'd be like, hey, I want to come work for you for free for 6 months. I'm going to pay you this much every month, and here's what I want to get from it.
So smart.
And here's what I want to give to you from it. I'm going to build whatever it is, your biggest challenges, I'm going to build that. Then at the same time, I would be finding one platform to maximize, to build a brand around. I want to do everything at start. I'd be like, okay, just Instagram, I'm going to focus on every single day and build up the most that I can to build an audience, or just YouTube, or just a blog, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people stretch too thin early on. I spent all my days on LinkedIn early on.
Yeah.
And became known as that guy on LinkedIn.
How much time?
I was like 6 hours a day.
Okay, so that's...
For about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, I was all in, you know, but I was one of the first guys to write a book about it. I got asked to speak all over the country about it. I was writing for blogs about LinkedIn. And, you know, my first LinkedIn product made over $1.5 million in sales. I wasn't stretching too thin for the first few years. I was focused on one thing. I think people get mixed up with that. So find a mentor or someone you're inspired by, and either have them mentor you. If you want to work for them, I would say, I'm going to pay you to work for you. If they're going to pay you, then cool. But I think there's something that it does for the person. If they're like, they're going to pay me to work for me, it's going to say this person is really serious and they're doing something different than no one else is doing. And I'm going to take notice to that. Because a lot of people say they want to work for me for free, but I'm like, it's too much time, it's too much energy. It's like, I'm going to coach you and then you're going to go off and do your thing. Like, it doesn't serve me. So pay them and then build one thing.
Would you do a travel blog under the name of a blog, or would you develop a personal brand within the travel space?
I would develop a personal brand within the travel space, because one of the most important vulnerabilities that people create for themselves is they niche themselves in the world as, I'm the Southeast Asia guy, and then it's 40 years later and you want to be the Europe guy, or you want to be the basketball guy. Building your name is a much, much better way to go. Look what happened with me. If my Twitter handle was wine guy, I would have had to go through that branding transition. And even without that, just being Gary Vaynerchuk, it was tough for me to become a business personality to hundreds of thousands of people because they had me as a wine guy. I always think you develop your name because life is long and this is a forever game.
Right, yeah. And my main reason for asking was because it was more of a niche blog. Like I was looking at something like Let's Travel America.
Yep.
And looking at doing, you know, and I, about 97%, you know, sure that I wanted to focus on U.S. and domestic travel and stuff. So that's why I was kind of wondering whether to do it under the name or do it like, you know, build your
name, but build up the show name too. I have an Ask Gary V show and this and that. There's Gary V, there's Gary Vaynerchuk. This is where people overthink, but I do think your name gives you flexibility.
Yeah, and it's been bothering me a lot, and
well, it shouldn't bother you anymore. It's over. No more bothering. Good?
I'm good, man.
Good, man. Good. Awesome.
Popcorn.
I know you're gonna comment on that thing and say that it sucks.
That was like a poltergeist voice. Which horror movie was that?
Okay.
I mean, you never cease to amaze me. Okay, welcome back, Popcorn fam. Welcome to another episode of Popcorn's Just Like a Show. We are tuning in. If you guys are tuning in live from Facebook, say yeah in the comment section. If you're tuning in live from LinkedIn, say I am the boss, because LinkedIn is a professional platform. And if you are tuning in from YouTube, say hell yeah, because you guys are one of the first few viewers on YouTube, right? Okay. So how is everybody doing? Who's in the house? I mean, can we
Who's
see?
in the house? Let's check. Viv is here. Hi, Viv. Hi, Viv.
Hi,
Good to see you
Viv.
around.
Where's Viv tuning in from?
LinkedIn. So Viv is from LinkedIn. Sakuna is from LinkedIn.
Hakuna Matata
Right.
is on LinkedIn.
Sakuna Matata is here.
Okay, awesome. Stop bullying. Pauline is saying, okay. Awesome. Okay. So do we have people on YouTube? I think they're not commenting yet. Okay, so
Yeah.
what do we have in the month of September? Just to let you guys know while we're waiting for more people to come in.
We have a busy month ahead, just like any other month. It's just like we're going to talk about the speaker first. So let's talk about them. So Ash is coming in tonight.
Pauline, Owen is asking where to tune in. So if you could help him out and send him a message, I guess. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, you were saying, sorry.
All right. So you focus again, right? It's always like that.
Yeah, I am.
So we have a busy month. So Ash is coming in tonight. Next week we have Wan Hazmi and Yasmin Kati is coming 2 weeks later, right? I think we kind of like schedule up quite a lot of speakers for next one as well, right?
Yes, we have, but I haven't done the artwork. I haven't done the artwork, so you guys have to wait. But what's really exciting is we've got Wan Hazmi. Wan Hazmi, if you guys know, is a Malaysian legend. He did the I think he's the lead game design, or one of the lead guys who designed Final Fantasy, and he started his own company. He's recently launched his own game. So we're gonna talk about how we can learn from him and use it in our industry, kind of thing, which is a really amazing. It had amazing.
We have quite a lot of gamers this month, eh?
Japan.
Quite a lot of gamers this month, eh?
Yeah, it's the gaming month.
Right.
Okay. Apart from that, we've got Yasmin Katir, who is also a podcaster like Ash today, and she's going to be talking about story selling. Okay. Yeah.
And then we have our class.
Oh, I forgot about that. On Saturday, we have the LinkedIn Killer All-Star LinkedIn Profile class. So if you guys want to have information, Pauline will be putting that information in the comment section. Do you have anything to add about this class, Amin?
Right. If you really want to ace it in LinkedIn, you got to come for this one. That's all I have to say.
Okay. I mean, it's very polite, but I'm just going to say that if you guys are positioning yourselves as business influencers, then this is definitely the start. Everything that you're going to be hearing from our speaker today, we're going to be implementing it there as well, or at least a portion of it, because we have no idea what Ash has in store for us. Okay. Now, which brings me to this year, 2020, I feel, is all about personal branding. And this whole week has been about personal branding for us as well.
For us, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So 2020 is about personal branding. Did you know that, Amin?
I didn't know that. Where did you get this from?
I came up with my own statistics. It's called universal prophecy of wisdom. Okay.
I thought I got like left out or something. Since when do we have personal branding month? Okay.
No, basically this is my own prophecy. Okay, mark my words. Okay. You know what? Maybe it's not going to be 2020. Maybe people are going to say 2021 or 2022 is going to be the year of personal branding. But because we prophesize things, you guys got it from PopConfest. Okay. All right. Now, if you are hiding and assuming that you don't need personal brand because you're not selling anything, or you're just an employee, you want to think that again, because the world is changing and so must you. And Amin, are you ready to tell them why?
Well, there's a few reasons why. Okay.
Why is personal branding vital in the post-coronavirus era?
It's very simple. Number one, it helps you with your sale, right? It's an investment not just for yourself, it's also for your company as well. Right, you can have more network and even get a new job just because of personal branding. That's it, right?
Okay.
It fulfill your future. That's it.
All right.
Right, you gotta have personal brand.
Okay,
yes.
got it. So, and that's what we're going to talk about today. What is personal branding? Why is it important in 2020 and beyond? And why is everyone from entrepreneurs to CEOs to employees and students need this? Okay, all this and more happening right now. So let's just langgar with it. Hit the intro video, Amin.
Popcorn.
All right, welcome back, Popcorn family. I'm Nina.
And I'm Amin.
And welcome to PopCon's Just Langgar show, where we cover the latest on content creation, social media, entrepreneurship, and tech to help you guys position yourselves as business leaders and industry authorities through content creation. Now, in other words, we're building Southeast Asia's business influencers and a business influencer community. So if this is something that interests you, come and join us, okay? And follow us on all our social media channels. Now, this week, we're going to be talking about all about personal branding. For a long time, personal branding has been better left to athletes, models, and Hollywood celebrities. Today, however, we are seeing the ushering of a new era, the personal brand. Now, in an era of unpredictability, a strong personal brand is crucial, and is in fact, it's so crucial that our speaker today says that visibility is more important than ability itself. Do you agree or disagree, Amin?
Okay, I know a lot of people are having issue with this. Because I actually got a personal message to say I don't agree with the title. So,
wow. So somebody has that too, huh?
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. But I'm aligned to this. I'm actually one of those who actually think that, yeah, you know what, visibility is important.
Because just 1 year ago you were not, right? Convinced.
Not really. No, because prior to this, I always thought it's all about ability. But you know what? In fact, 1 year ago, I would say when I started in LinkedIn, when I take a look at the people who was acing in LinkedIn, I say, it's all about the visibility.
Okay, and just to let you guys know, we have 3 commandments at Popcorn, and one of the commandments is it pays to perasan, or in other words, it pays to be conceited. And this episode, we will tell you why, okay? And this is especially for Asian people. So controversial title indeed. We had so many people disagreeing, but you know, if you guys agree with it or if you guys disagree, hit in the comment section and keep it coming. Okay, so that's what today is about. We're going to be talking to personal branding coach and founder of the Personal Branding 101 podcast, Ash Borland. Now, before I intro you to the speaker, if you guys have any questions or if you want to comment or anything, please list down in the comment section, because our session is always very chillax and organic. Okay, so any questions is good. Okay, now today's speaker is a personal branding coach, speaker, and podcaster. He also helps businesses and individuals stand out from the crowd by building, shaping, and refining their personal brand. Now, Ash's theory is that everyone is an individual and we are all our unique selling point. When we embrace our own individuality and use it in a focused way, we become memorable, unstoppable, and irreplaceable. That's what Beyonce sung. But anyway, Ash's work involves looking in depth at personal brand discovery, social influence, and content strategy. So definitely the man that we want to talk to about personal branding. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ash Borland.
Hello.
What an intro. Wow.
Okay, Ash, did I pronounce your name right? It is Borland, or is it?
You did, yeah, it's Borland, yeah. Everyone goes Borland, but it's Borland, yeah. Just say it whatever you want.
Gotta go like British a bit, yeah? Okay,
yeah,
now thank you for joining us. Again, we go into, before we go into the questions, so if you guys have any questions, please list in the comments section. So first things first, Ash, can you share a little bit about yourself, what you do in your own words, and how you work with people?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a personal branding coach and consultant, and I work with one-to-one individuals, and I help them stand out from the crowd. I help them make sure that people recognize them in the street, they recognize them online, and that they recognize them for all the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. So I effectively, it starts off with social media and it always ends up going into personal development and mindset coaching and all the mess that comes out with it. But really, it's about realizing that we're so much more than just a job title.
Okay, that is so true, actually. I mean, we talk about it as personal branding, or for us, it's about LinkedIn, but then we go into the mind and personal development. What are some of the most bizarre things you've had to work with your clients? Sorry, I'm just very curious about
Yeah,
this.
go for it. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So some weird stuff. Everything comes out. What I find with personal branding, with anything really, is that we start off with like, I want trackable, traceable leads. And that's where everyone comes in. I want trackable, traceable. And there's a whole reason and psychology behind that. But that's cool. So we kind of got to overcome that hurdle. And then you start to realize that the root cause for a lot of people's lack of personal branding is self-doubt, imposter syndrome. They are the biggest things. They are the hardest things that I see come up all the time. Everyone is scared of being, and this is where we say about visibility or ability. Everyone is scared of putting their head above the parapet, so to speak. And that comes up all the time. And even me. So the most one is limiting beliefs and imposter syndrome, definitely.
Oh my God, you're so spot on. Some and worthiness, sometimes we think, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not this. So yes, we have to work with our clients on that as well. So now, before anything, let's get down to the basic first before we look at the title of today's episode. What is personal branding? What is it and what it is not? Because I'm looking at Google. Maybe that's a bad reference, but there's so many different definitions.
I think there's like hundreds and thousands of definition for this, right? Like different Google has different perception on it.
Yeah. So when we talk about personal branding, what is it to you, and what is it not?
So personal brand is a funny one. So I had the same experience as you did when I Googled it. When I very first kind of was trying to work this out, what did I want to do? What kind of sector did I want to work in? And personal branding is starting to form. It's starting to become its own kind of topic now. Previously, personal brand was just a term thrown away, used by digital marketers or marketing people or recruiters or anything like that to say it was like a tag on, bolt on. It would normally be on the end of a digital marketing course, personal brand. But actually, I have a real belief and method of what personal branding is. Personal branding is reputation management. And what I mean by that is managing your reputation. We as humans are lazy. We're lazy people. We're cognitively lazy. We only remember about 20% of what is going on around us. And this is what I started to learn. When that's the case, 80% of our life we're not even aware of. So we pigeonhole people. We pigeonhole things. We all have friends you guys are probably the podcast friends to some people. So personal branding is happening everywhere we look. We pigeonhole. If it takes us longer than 3 seconds to understand what somebody does, we move on to the next thing. So we've got football friends, work friends, girlfriends. We have these friends and they're pigeonholed, all these things in our life. What personal brand is doing is instead of letting that narrative form in other people's minds, you use all the tools at your disposal, marketing, social media, physical, digital identity. It's all part of an ecosystem. You use these things all pushing in the one direction so that you effectively re-educate people to see you as the whatever. So for me, the personal branding guy, and this is the type of thing that when you do that enough, and this is where visibility comes in. If you do it enough, you show up enough, eventually people will start to go, oh, Ash is the personal branding guy. So it's reputation management. That's all it is. And I think people overcomplicate it. They woo-woo it. They say it's about being authentic. But the problem with this is these are untangible things. I don't know what authentic means. Authentic is being yourself, but you can't teach that. And there's a lot of stuff that the problem with personal branding I've found, and that's what we say when you Google it, is there's a lot of people who really don't know what it is. So they just say, be authentic, add value, know your why. You need to understand properly. And then there's reasons behind that. I can talk into that, but you need to understand it needs to be tangible, measurable. If it's not measurable and tangible and can actually be implemented, it's just a load of people who've stumbled their way to success, built a personal brand unknowingly, and then everyone asks them how they did it, and they're like, oh yeah, I just kind of did everything really well. So there is a method behind it. Anyone can do it if you just put the steps, and it's so reputation management.
Right. Okay. I love that. That's so good. That is the one thing that I could not find. Do you have anything to add, Amin?
I'm just
blown away.
Just blowing away now. Yeah, I'm blown away.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I hope we kind of like answered some of the different, because we have a lot of these people who have their own defense mechanism of what personal branding is. So I think tonight, maybe tonight we want to debunk some of the myths about personal branding. Okay, that's my mission for tonight.
A lot of people, are you talking about our community? Or are you talking about what everybody is talking out there and what people are listening?
There's so many different school of thoughts in this. I feel. I mean, some people actually look at personal branding as just an outlook, and how you just how you dressed up, how you portray yourself out there. But for me, it's not just that. It's also within you, right? Yeah, it's here first before you actually. Yeah, I know. So I'm not an expert, but that's what I feel. Yeah,
saying it right. It has to come from you. That's when it's authentic. The authentic thing is the problem with all this. This is where I found it was I'm quite a deep person and a very deep person.
Not just your voice.
Maybe not as deep as my voice. And the problem I found was when I watched a lot of those videos and I looked on podcasts, it was all very, as you're saying, and then like very top level, and it didn't really tell me anything. It just was saying that like it has to come from me, and until you are comfortable to, and that's why I say embrace your individuality. Until you're comfortable to say, "This is who I am," then you're building the wrong personal brand. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think that I see that happen a lot. I'm a big LinkedIn fan. I love that you guys love LinkedIn because
we love LinkedIn.
I love it, and I see it all the time, like where people are doing stuff because they think people want them to do it, as opposed to actually like what it should be for them. And I can go on to that. We'll dive into that.
So if we actually go deeper into this, I think there's a lot of stuff that will come out. But let's go with the flow first. Yeah,
that would be an entire episode by itself. Okay, I mean, you know that. Okay, just so you know, Ash, I'm paying attention to you, but looking at my phone as well for comments. I'm not like this.
Fine.
I'm trying to share stuff at the same time while doing this interview. That's
okay. We've got a couple of comments. There's a person called Facebook user. I don't know who it is, but this is
Facebook user.
This is so true, especially in the Asian culture, having to keep our heads down and not blow our trumpet, which is true, Ash. I hope to learn how have a better personal brand, but at the same time, not be misunderstood, and definitely need help with that. So we're going to be able to answer that, which is true, Ash, because, you know, in Asian culture, we're brought up to not talk about ourselves, that if you do good work, people will talk about you. And if you talk about yourself, you're seen as, you know, you're bragging and stuff like that. And Abby's repeating measurable, tangible, and people can sniff out fake. That's what people are saying.
Oh, gosh, you can sniff fake up. But I know what you mean. A lot of my friends are I've got a lot of Asian friends, and it is, and actually, funnily enough, my first few clients were all Asian, and it was that was the one of the Malaysian, funnily enough, and that was part of the hurdles. Everyone has different hurdles. And I think the hardest thing with personal brand, I find the biggest hurdle is, like you say, being comfortable being yourself in front of everyone. You know, that's the hardest thing. And I think that's culturally, depending on the culture, you say Americans, there's a reason why Gary Vee played brilliant people. I mean, I love those guys, both of them. And there's a reason why the Americans own this, because they're not scared of being too arrogant. And arrogance is a dangerous thing, but it's better to be arrogant and pull it back, tiptoe that line of confidence, than just be hidden like a little wallflower or a mouse. And I think depending on culture, like British people are terrible at it. We just sit quietly and everything's all la-di-da and to do.
So you guys are pretty quiet like us too?
Oh, yeah. British people don't like to brag. They don't like to brag. They everything is a problem. They're very negative, and everything's a problem.
Because like the rain.
Yeah, everything's a problem. My wife's not British. Good, but yeah, that's you've got to teach that. Americans have it naturally, and that's why they excel at it.
Yeah,
I think to add to that, to make it even more difficult for Asians, when you said that you being comfortable with yourself can actually be quite hard for adults. That's why I feel. Yeah, why? Because I feel that as we are growing up, right? For me, as an Asian, there's a certain concept or certain perception that I need to. Or rules that I need to play by that's being implanted, right? So by the time, like right now, is when we talk about personal branding, and then we tell people that we need to be authentic and all that. The one thing that comes to my mind is, shit, man, that's not going to be easy.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard. It is really hard, and I'm sure the thing with this, we're already going off topic. I could talk about this stuff so much. So I'll let you go with the flow, because I think you're going to find out all of this stuff. The stuff I know, the questions you've got for me will answer a lot of these, I hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next is, what is it that most people get wrong about personal branding? What is it that most people still don't get?
I think the big thing that people go wrong. Now, wrong is a hard one. This was something that was taught to me by my mentor, and he said, and he says he's behavioral economist, so he's not a branding guy. He says it's all about behavioral psychology. And he said everything in life is either growing or decaying. It's never standing still. So this is what people do, and I love this term, and it really stuck with me. And they say where people go wrong is that if people, the biggest thing I see people do is they don't post, they don't make content, they don't put themselves out there. That is the biggest. That's like the cardinal sin. Because when I say about this, everyone is either growing or decaying. If you don't post and you think you're leaving your business, people I see all the time, your business or your any personal brand, you can put it to anything. They'll say, I'll leave it and I'll do it when I'm ready. You're not leaving your business and your brand at a spot. It's not sitting on a shelf. It's dying. It's decaying. Every day you don't post or you don't do something that builds your... Now, visibility, I'm a big believer of this is not social media. This is everything. About creating a consistent, cohesive experience. Both if I see you in not right now with Corona, but if I see you in the shop, I should have the same experience in person as I do. These are the other kind of things that go wrong. Is it should be the same. It's like going to your favorite singer's concert live. You love their album, they sound amazing, and then they're absolutely shit. When they're live, when they're bad and they're live, automatic disconnect. This is the same thing. So that's another one. You've got to make sure 2 cardinal sins: not posting at all and thinking that your business is being all right. It's actually going backwards. And then the second one, am I losing you all?
No.
Disappeared. And then the second one, like I say, is not being consistent both online and offline. So having a consistent physical and digital identity.
Okay, got it. So that's what people get wrong most of the time, eh? Okay.
Yeah, that's the biggest ones, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a question from somebody who's like, well, it's not really a question. He's questioning the title. Visibility is more important than ability, which is my next question. So now, what do you mean by this? Because a lot of people are losing it. Let's put it that way. And I think I know why, but you tell us why anyway. I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah, I think so. I got a message from you guys today and said, a lot of people are getting a bit funny about this. And I laughed. I was sat with my wife and I said, they should do, because I've crafted this using emotive language, perfectly positioned to cause what we call a grenade post. So it's something that makes you feel something, both either happiness or anger. You've done something. Now, visibility is more important than ability itself. Is a statement that was taught to me, and it's the one that was said to me, and I heard it on a podcast a long time ago, and it just stuck with me. What I mean by this, and I've kind of built my kind of whole theory around this, is ability is a given. You should have ability. And so I saw some of the comments from people, and they said, well, the problem is when you're better, that if you're visible, but you've got none of the ability, then you're just going to lose business. The truth is, there are so many people out there who are amazing at what they do, but they are the best kept secret. Nobody knows who they are. And this is taking place everywhere. In the UK, we've got it all over the place. Football, for example. I don't like football. I do not like football at all. However, everyone in the world knows who David Beckham is. Everyone. Everybody. And this is an example of great personal branding. David Beckham is the most visible. That's what he is. He's the most visible. His ability is there, of course, but David Beckham and football are unanimous. They go together. That's a good personal brand. That's visibility over ability itself. He understood that to be more than football, he has to push his brand and be everywhere at all times. He has to be consistently encountered. It's what we call omnipresent. He needs to be everywhere at all times. Whereas there are thousands of footballers who are better than him or as good as him, who disappeared and we don't know who their name is. And you don't want to be that person. You do not want to be that person. And that's where personal branding, when I say this statement of visibility over ability itself, is you don't need to be the best. You just have to be the most seen. And once you're the most seen, and I said this, I think I was talking to you guys off air on this, is once you're most seen, you will actually, the more you are seen because you're making more content, because you're engaging with more people, funnily enough, over a period of say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, your ability is going to be through the roof. But the reason why I say visibility over ability goes right back to why people don't start personal branding is they're like, I've got to be the best before I do it. And actually, and I think you said this, man, was you do not need to be the best. Like the amount, all of these people, Gary Vee started somewhere.
Yeah.
He had to start. And there was a moment in my life where I was not making videos because everyone else was. And I was like, I'm not good enough. My life changed the day that I literally, no joke, set my phone up against a water bottle and went, hi guys, my name's Ash, and let me tell you about this. I'm a specialist in buying a house, and let me tell you. And the moment that happened, and I took that switch from worrying about my ability to more worrying about my visibility, everything else changed. And that's why it's important. Not if you've not got the ability, that's just, if you've not got the ability, but you're pretending that you've got the ability in regards to like what I saw a lot of the comments, which is interesting. I like that. I'm always interested in consumer behavior and why they interact with stuff. That's called a con artist. That's a con man.
Okay,
if someone is trying to tell you something, I got a post for this one, and this is sorry, I'm rambling on, but it's something very near to me. When I was looking for my accountant, self-employed, I was looking for an accountant, and I put out on my post, and this is where I talk about with the ability thing. I put out on my post on LinkedIn about a year ago now, year and a half, and I said, I'm looking for an accountant. Can anyone recommend me one? I need somebody who is fun, energetic, and charismatic, because that's what I like. I like that. I want to have a laugh with them, banter with them. And the amount of comments, that's the wrong skills. That's not, you shouldn't be looking for that in an accountant. They should be, on time. They should be, punctual, but reliable. And I just wrote back saying, well, I kind of expect that from them. They should be. That's their job. So the ability should be a given. We shouldn't need to justify our ability. It's the extras on top that makes us personal, pops the personal brand out. So that's why.
I have a personal view on this. I think the ability is not about being perfect with your ability, but having a start. That's how I see it, right? Yeah. You can start something, but what you want to do is to surrender to the idea that your community and the people that you are going to be working with is going to grow with you.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to start somewhere.
I think
people like
for us, go on.
No, go ahead. No, you go. No, because I'll just keep talking. You go ahead. I'm interested.
Even for us, I think when we first started, I think we felt that we had an imposter syndrome. I mean, I don't know about you, because we felt that we didn't know everything, But then slowly, as we learned, people started coming to us saying, no, Nina, you have to teach me. And I'll guess, but I don't know everything, but you know more than me. And then light bulb moment came on. Yeah. And that's when everything changed.
That was like for me, like my mentor. He's a doctorate in behavioral economics. The guy works with the BBC. He's huge. I mean, I went to he's amazing. Late 50s, and he was the guy that changed it for me. I went to his house, and he wasn't my mentor at the time. He was just a friend, and we were talking about I was talking about personal branding with him, and that's when he said, you that's the imposter syndrome. He was like, why are you not doing this as a job? I was like, well, I don't know enough. There's better people out there. And he was like, no, there isn't. He said, you know more than I do. He said, I would pay you to do that. And when I had that, I was like, well, I look up to this guy. He's an idol in my mind. And he thinks that he'd pay me. And you'll be shocked when you start to put it out there. And then what happens is you'll be shocked is when you start to become more visible, you'll be shocked how many people, how low the bar is that actually you could be top of your industry in a year. Very genuinely, within a year to 18 months, if you're consistent, you will be in the top 5% of your industry. It's wow.
Okay, so it's about getting yourself out there, and it's about being seen. Yeah. We have a couple of questions from people, but I'm gonna look into that later because I don't want to interrupt the flow right now. But basically, what you're saying and what everybody seems to be getting at is the skills we need to be successful in life is the same skills that made us popular in secondary school, which is like everybody's probably cringing right now.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah, it is. Same skills. So This one, again, I love to go on LinkedIn. I just live on LinkedIn. I like that thing about 6 hours. That's about me. I'm about 6 hours a day. And I love it. And what people don't get is it is the same skills. When we were at secondary school, high school, we're like at this kind of basic kind of primal human. We don't really have many morals. Our primal instincts are kicking in at that point. And it is real hierarchy. Now, what people don't realize is that type of thing happens is you're so right, like things like the way you look, the way you sound, the way you dress, they all are hugely important when building your personal brand and building connections with people. So the people at school that were popular usually were because they were good looking and funny. That was really it. Now, that's some of the things, good looking is the looks, the way the physical identity, they all make a huge part of this personal brand. People buy from you by the way you look. So I saw someone say, would you pick a client, a customer, it's not a customer, would you pick to work with someone if they had a MacBook over a normal PC? And everyone, this is what makes me laugh because I understand behavioral science, the amount of people who think the answer is no. But the real answer is yes. And it's exactly the same stuff when we're at school. The real answer is these behavioral biases, these cognitive biases in our brain make me automatically go unconsciously, not realizing, oh my God, they've got a MacBook. I have a MacBook. They must be like me. I love that. Or people do two things. They buy from people who they think they like them, or they wish they were like them. When you understand that, so it's either obtainable, so relatable. So let's talk about this. People could be relatable, or they are unrelatable in a really good way. Gary Vaynerchuk is not relatable. You do not relate to Gary Vaynerchuk. And everyone who says, I find him so he's related. No, he's not. He is. And it's understanding where you fit on your brand. If you're relatable, then you look like everyone else. You act like everyone else, and that's a good thing. But it's knowing where you fit. And that's where you say about this. It's about being either I wish I was like you or I was you. Knowing and that's the school thing. That's the school thing again. I either wish I was like the popular girl or the popular boy, so I carried on doing it, or I didn't. It's like The Rock. Everyone loves The Rock. He's amazing. And yet nobody thinks they could be The Rock. But then we also watch these other content creators and we're like, I love them because I just feel like I could see them in the street. And knowing which one you fit in is really important. That's something I see people do wrong all the time and I did as well. I spent my whole first maybe 3 years of doing this trying to be relatable when I realized, and it was again my mentor that said, you're not relatable. You need to be the next level. That's hard to do because you have to push that down. That's where the weird haircuts come in, the long hair. I was like, okay, you've got to be so memorable that people are like, I wish I could do what you do. Not
right. Okay.
Understanding where you fit on those. I think you guys are unrelatable. This podcast is blowing me away.
Really? We're unrelatable?
In a good way. That's a good.
Did you hear that?
Unrelatable in a good way. I think you use these terms too much.
You're muted.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, actually, to tell you the truth, he will know me because we've known each other for years. I was spending for the biggest portion of my life trying to fit in, trying to be something I'm not. He will know.
When you're trying to fit in, I can see that with you, Nina. You've got this bubbly energy, like it's infectious. So it's coming through the screen. We're in a different part of the world. I can tell it. I can feel it. Now, when you're someone like you, and that's something like I'm eccentric. I'm odd. I'm really, really like I wear cowboy boots. I'm really like leather. I'm very odd. I'm 50% of my body is covered in tattoos. I'm not a normal looking guy. But I spent the last 7 years trying to fit in, and that's what you say.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because we want to be herd animals. Because we want to it all goes back to what we do. And this is where a personal brand. No one wants to make a personal brand because they're worried what others will think. Because if you go back to caveman days, real long time, if you put yourself out there, that meant you were leaving the tribe. If you were leaving the tribe, high chance you're going to die because you need the tribe safety. But we don't live in that world anymore. And if you want, nothing good comes from conforming. Nothing. All it does is that's why people are unhappy. That's why people, and whenever someone says like and I know this with me, like the breaking point for me with this and the kind of last bit was I remember looking in the mirror and being like, who is that looking back? Like, who is that? That's not me. That is not who I think I sell. And that was the twisting point. And when I unlocked it for myself, that's when people say, I'm not some guru who sells you something I don't believe in. When I understood that actually this is who I want to be, this is who I want the world to know me as. And I was worried that I get, and I've seen there's visibility ensure, like I noticed that, like, is I was worried that I get no business, but I was got to the point where I was living a life where I was like, I can't pretend to be something I'm not for money. Like I have to keep going, and if that means that I have to get a dead end job but I live my true authentic self and who I want to be, then how, like, so be it. And I said to you, the moment I started being myself unapologetically, like, yes, I have tattoos, yes, I have weird hair, yes, I do this, or that moment, that's when everything, all of a sudden I had more business than I could deal with. And anyone can do it.
Okay.
And so have my clients. When you embrace that wholeheartedly, and that's what your school popularity at school was a problem because we cared about it. But when you don't care about it, isn't a problem anymore.
That is so true. I can't agree with you more. I've got Parthpal who's also mentioning on Facebook. I guess I ain't just lungaring enough. Just lunga, by the way, Ash means just crashing it. Basically he's not doing it enough. I can tell you, yes, you're not doing it enough, Parthpal.
Yeah, we can video Parthpal.
Okay, so Marty is asking, does visibility ensure sustainability as well? I know the answer, but Ash, you go ahead and answer that.
The answer is yes. I can answer it in more detail, but it ensures, so visibility will ensure sustainability. So the more visible you are, the more sustainable you'll be. The more visible you are without necessarily, I know we're going to talk about this, I've seen in social influence, but without selling. So the more you are without actually trying to sell to someone, then yes, 100% you will build something. It's like that video that Gary Vee you put before. You are building legacy. You're building something that is it's going to ensure you get repeat business.
Okay, got it. And Keanu is saying, I just have to bring back my high school persona, and voila. Well, Keanu, for you, everybody loves you. By the way, this guy Keanu actually went viral for doing remote grocery shopping. So he's actually asking. I
saw that one up there. That was quite interesting. See that.
So let me put it up here. But that's not my main profession. How do I claim back my professional reputation? That's what he said.
So this is a brilliant example of what I mean by pigeonholing. So so this is a brilliant example of he's been branded unintentionally as a remote grocery shopper, and because of that, and because we're lazy, we as in humans, our brain is lazy. That's it. Then he's the remote grocery shopper. And so if he wants to be, and I said, if he wants to be considered professional, anytime he walks into the room, people are going to go, yeah, that's really cool. But aren't you the remote grocery shopper guy? Yeah. And straight away, no one's going to do business. I had this myself. I told you before I was a performer.
Yes.
That was the problem. Trying to get people to do finances with me when I had my finance business, when they're like, but aren't you the guy that sings opera? Yeah, that's me. That was me. Oh, yeah, you're brilliant. I love what you do. I'm going to go to John, though, because John always does finance. And that's the visibility. I wasn't visible enough. And that's the same thing with him. How do you do it? Like water on rock. This is what I like to say. Like water on rock, water will wear through a mountain and create streams. The only way you're going to do that is by literally consistently content marketing, consistently every day. Don't overcommit and underdeliver. Just one post a day. Give yourself 6 months. Don't talk about anything else. So don't talk about your kids or your life or your dog or nothing. Just what you want people to know you for, and you will steer the ship. It will correct, and people will know you for what you want.
Awesome, got it. Okay, I hope that answers. I hope you get it, Keanu. Okay, Rusnaja is asking.
I'm just sitting there. He says, "Oh my God, that's exactly how people recognize me." See, I know.
Okay, Rusnaja is asking, how do I convince my friends to build up their personal branding, especially when they don't have the confidence to do so? For example, if they don't have a university degree, what can they focus on?
Okay, I think I'm going to have another comment here that you're not going to like. So this is going to cause loads of things for people.
Bring it on.
Don't bother. Don't bother. It's not your job to do it. It's not your job to do it. I'm a big believer of this, and this is where me and my wife's relationship is amazing for one reason and one reason only. You are responsible for your happiness and your success, and nobody else. So if you're worried about your friends, don't waste that energy. That's up to them. It's that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Focus on your personal brand. Focus on your life, making your life happy and fulfilled, and actually lead by example. Show them what you can do with your personal brand, and hopefully the ones who want it will follow in line with you. But I think we spend too much of our time trying to make other people. I do it myself. I'm so guilty. I'm really good at giving this advice, by the way, guys. But as my friend knows, as my mentor says, this is behavioral psychology, and it's built in us. We can't help it. So I do the same things as you. I might sound wise, but when it comes to my business and my life, I worry about my friends and my wife and my this. But the truth is, it's so hard. Let go of it and focus on yours. And if you do a good enough example, then you will change their lives as well. And that's the only way, I think.
Yep, I think that's such a brilliant.
That kind of remind me of this book that I read a long time ago. I don't know if you read this book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull.
No, that's I'm going to read that now.
Yeah, it's about this one seagull that. Yeah, it's about the seagull that do not conform with the rest of the flock. Conform, with the rest of the flock, and then he decided to just fly up and then fly high and fly high and fly high again. Yeah, it's so
true. It's a thing of it's that saying that people say at first they'll ask why and then they'll ask how, and that is a saying. It is. If you are not, and it's about becoming an early adopter mindset, which I'm sure I know we're going to talk about because it's in your questions in regards to what answer it, but you need to start like living by example and showing people that if someone says go left, always challenge why and do go right. See what happens. You can always go left again.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So Asha is saying this is one of my obstacles. Asha used to be an MTV host, is it right, Asha?
Oh,
you can share with us.
Channel
V host. Sorry, not MTV. And now she's a hypnotherapist, and she's a coach, kind of thing. So yeah. So basically, just keep on posting and stuff like that.
That's how it solves that one. So the biggest where people go wrong with this is like. This is a personal brand myth that hopefully we can bust here. And today is personal brand does not mean show the world your life. This is really, really wrong when it comes to this. There are three types of archetypes. I won't go too deep into it, but there are three archetypes and there are things called content pillars. And these things need to be all around one topic. It goes back to pigeonhole. If you want people to know you for something, you must only talk about that thing. So if you are, and I've got friends who do this, but if you are, known for the personal branding guy. So you said about me being a singer, like we're off air. So people know me as the personal branding guy. But if I start posting videos of me singing, that is growing or decaying. It's, they say at the beginning, growing, decaying. It's decaying. It's decaying that brand equity because people. All you're doing is muddying the water. So when you put photos of your family, photos of your kids, photos of your food, photos of your workout, it's destroying your personal brand. And this is what's really unpopular opinion, but it's why it works is it's people say it makes you more relatable, but the truth is it dilutes your authority in the job, the thing you want people to know you for. So how that's it, just one thing and nothing else.
Okay, one thing and nothing else for consistently for 6 months.
Forever.
Okay, got it.
Like Gary V. I love this.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So Gary V is a huge example of this. Sorry, I'm kind of sorry, but Gary V is a huge example of this. We see Gary V now as the king. He is the top. I mean, he is the god of personal brand. He's the guy. Now, Gary V, this is where people emulate him. They copy him, which is great. But what they don't realize is Gary V, it's like a tree. Think of it like a tree. Gary V was the wine guy. Now, he said it on that video. I was the wine guy, but I kept myself name as Gary. But he only spoke about wine for like 12 years.
Yes.
Once he built enough of a following, like he spoke about wine, and he got onto YouTube. So he's a YouTuber speaking about wine. He didn't talk about YouTube. He spoke about wine, but on YouTube. Then he went to Twitter talking about wine. He wasn't talking about Twitter, still talking about wine, and he keeps talking about wine. And over time, this momentum snowballs to the point where it's like a trunk of a tree, and the tree keeps growing thicker and taller and thicker and taller. And then eventually, when he was ready, when he felt ready, 12 years in, millions of dollars in, he then can spread his branches. And all of a sudden, we now learn that he likes sports cards and he loves the Jets. But none of that came out when he was telling us about wine. And that's the problem I see. And that's where it is. We sprout our branches too early, way too early, and we end up being a little daisy or a little flower. Whereas your goal to be is like Gary Vee, where he talks about one thing for 12 years, every day, and then when he went, boom, he took over the world because his branches were so broad and so deep, and all the people followed him. And that's the problem. We over leverage too quick. That's a really, really big problem in personal branding.
Okay, got it. I have to rethink my life now. Got it.
I'm like that as well every day. Every day I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I doing that?
Okay, we're getting so many questions. This is brilliant, Ash. I'm going to throw my script away and focus on our
sorry.
people.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's good. So Rohan is asking, hi, Ash. My name is Rohan. By profession, I'm an independent beauty consultant where I coach people how to use skincare and makeup. I'm actually thinking to do live shows on LinkedIn. Do you think it would help my personal brand? But I understand now it will increase my visibility. So what's your advice?
The first thing, Rohan, you need to send me your profile on LinkedIn, because my wife would definitely love to watch your stuff. She loves all that stuff. So send it to me on LinkedIn, and I'll show it to her. But secondly, 100% you should be on LinkedIn doing that. Like it will. Like my friend of mine is a tattoo artist, and he does all my tattoos, and he's incredibly talented. And I keep telling him he should be on LinkedIn. You guys would be interested to hear your thoughts on LinkedIn. I'm like, get on LinkedIn. And he was like, oh, but it's business. And I'm like, that doesn't matter. Like, it's not. I was like, if you go on LinkedIn right now with tattoos, tattoo parlor, and showing them being done, I said, you are going to split the room. But people are going to know you. You're going to be visible because no one is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, no one is doing it. I said, and you're going to be shocked because you're going to get two things. You're going to get people go, oh, this is LinkedIn. This is not Facebook. I love that. It's not Facebook. It's Facebook. Microsoft wants it to be Facebook. Wake up. But okay, it's Facebook 10 years ago. And then the other thing with that is there's going to be tons of people who are professionals who have tattoos who secretly didn't want to talk about that, but actually they're covered underneath their suits, and you will get a bigger audience. And I really think, Ryan, you'll actually, as someone. Is it a man or a woman? I think is it a male? Is it Rohan? Are you a man?
Rohan's a guy. Yes.
I thought he is. I just want to make sure before I say he. The fact that you're a bloke doing it as well will be very polarizing on LinkedIn because very conservative. That is a huge thing to your advantage. You are the type of person that my wife would. That's why I say send me on LinkedIn, because my wife would love it, because that is your superpower. Your individuality is your superpower. Get on there, talk about skincare, do it live. And do it for a year, and you'll kill it. I really do believe that.
Okay, thank you so much. He'll be so happy to hear that.
I'm excited for Rohan, actually. I'm excited for Rohan. I want to see some. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be damn polarizing.
It's so funny. He just WhatsApped me earlier, and he's like, Nina, should I do? Because I was busy setting up. And I'm like, oh, we're doing this. Ask him, Yeah. Okay, so Viv is asking, should I worry that I seem to have a different persona on Facebook based on the dumb friends I have there compared to how my LinkedIn tribe sees me? On behalf of PopCon, I don't want to apologize for our people because they're real. They're us.
I love it. It's brilliant. Yeah. You guys are by far the best. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. Like, your community are incredible. So should I worry that, it's hard. Facebook is the hardest one. I'm not a fan of Facebook because for a lot of reasons. Facebook is going to be the hardest one because the hardest, you've got to decide whether you're going to use it for business or not. I think that's the hardest thing. If you're going to use Facebook for business, start posting content on your profile. Don't use a page because they just want you to pay. for ads, and like you may as well just profiles and groups are the only real thing relevant on Facebook. If you build a group and a community, 100%, but don't waste your time on a page. But if you're going to use Facebook for business, then you just do what I say: post every day and re-educate. But the problem with Facebook is it has no organic reach, and the nature of it is small. So you're fishing in a pond that is going to run dry. It's a pond. You're not fishing in an ocean. It's not a never-ending supply. It's a pond. And so if you get a lot more, and it's a bit like what I said at the beginning on that video, if you get a lot more out of LinkedIn, I would just go all in on LinkedIn. My Facebook, I'm sitting here talking about this stuff, and I know a lot about this. My Facebook and Instagram are terrible. Like, I don't get anybody on there because I'm not bothered. So, my Facebook and Instagram are useless for what I do. And I think I would probably say the same for you, Viv. Like, if you're getting good return on LinkedIn, double down on LinkedIn, and either repost your stuff from LinkedIn to Facebook with the mindset of, okay, cool, I'm not going to care, or reserve it for family so that it's only there where you want to put your kids' photos and things like that.
I wouldn't like that. Okay. Oh, Haley is asking a question. Okay. As an introvert,
Haley, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. It took me 12 years before I decided to make my work life visible. I didn't see a point when I was constantly getting jobs back. Okay, this is very long. Hang on. Let's go.
Good.
What kind of advice can you share to convince Asian-minded workaholic introverts?
Oh, gosh.
She has the fear of her supervisor or boss monitoring or judging her posts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had that. I've had that happen to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I actually have a relevant question to that as well later, but I'll let you answer this one first because I'll add to that as well. Yeah.
So the fear of your supervisor or boss monitoring and judging your posts, and they say and advice for a convince an Asian how to share. What was it? Advice you can share to convince Asian high-minded workaholic introverts. Okay. I'm guessing. I think I'm getting my head right with this. So the fear that your boss is looking at it, I get that. I do get that. These are the growing pains, sadly, of personal branding. And any personal brand is as you start to spread your wings, good companies will like that. I'm not going to say bad companies won't, but if it's not in line with the company's guidelines and stuff, then you're going to get a bit of friction. I'm a big believer of this, Haley, of ask for forgiveness, not permission. So do it, and that's why I get in lots of trouble. But not as much now as that's why I'm self-employed. Okay. Go for it. It's not there. They don't own your social medias at all. If you're an introvert, and I understand this. So the introvert thing of, I'm actually an introvert. People don't realize this. I'm very introverted. I don't spend a lot of, me, my wife, my dog, and my cat, and then my baby on the way. That's it. I don't care about anything else. I'm a very quiet guy, but I turn it on when I need to turn it on. And actually, you'll find most content creators are introverts. Nearly all of them on YouTube, they're very much introverted. So to convince yourself with it, there's not much else to do. Just do it. It's really hard to kind of answer that one. I remember, joke with this one of making content. I remember my first business before I did this, as in my first personal branding business, was to teach people how to get confident on camera. And then I realized after the first session of, so just do it. There was not much else to really teach them because you can't, unless you do it, you have to start. So I'd say and I think you said something at the beginning, which I'm going to say with this, is that if you are relying that you get jobs back to back to back, that's good. But like you said about personal branding is changing why it's important, that is not going to continue. So you need to build a personal brand. If you've had that over the last 12 years, you need a personal brand now with what's gone on with the virus and stuff and the world going all over the place. The people who have personal brands are the people who are going to get the jobs in an overcrowded job market.
Your question, Amin?
Okay, this is something that is actually happening within our community, so I'm not going to mention names. So this guy who is on a very high level in the corporate environment is currently looking for jobs. So one of his concern that he has, I'm just asking another point of view.
Yeah,
because I think I would like to hear your point of view on this. So his concern is this: if I were to show myself, my true self, and I'm in a position right now where I need people to accept me for the job that I wanted, wouldn't that be jeopardizing my career? What's your take on that?
I think I wouldn't want to work with anybody who wouldn't accept me because of my not being myself. I think that I would.
Yeah.
That mindset is. I think that type of mindset, and don't get me wrong, I have had that. So there's a non-judging on this. This is very much a limiting belief you have to overcome yourself, and it takes a long time. That is a toxic mindset, and you don't want to spend your time in that type of mindset. You need to get out of that. And if you are whoever the guy is, and I hope he gets his job. It's one of those things where if you are good, this is where visibility over ability. This is where if you are good for the job, going back to what you are good for the job and you're the right candidate for the job, shouldn't matter in that scenario. So this is where it's contradicting, but it shouldn't matter. And actually, and this is something I had myself, was you being genuinely real and who you are will make you stand out. It will make you stand out. You think it's a curse, but it's a superpower. It's not a hindrance. If you are an interesting guy, like I for years didn't tell anyone about me being a performer. For years, didn't want people to know that. I wanted to be a corporate guy. And the truth is, the most interesting parts of my life happened because I didn't have a normal life growing up. And because of that, it's what got me all my jobs. But I was so embarrassed. I didn't want people to know. I didn't want people to find out. I didn't want to show the world. And the truth is, I said before, like, I saw your lineup in video games. I was like, oh, yes. I'm a big video gamer, big Star Wars fan, love tattoos, really into weird mythology, all of that. When I started to show that stuff, it landed me more jobs than I could possibly, and gigs and clients than I could ever deal with. And I think that guy, it's hard. It's like taking a leap of faith. And we want quantifiable. It's the option. We want quantifiable evidence that people are going to say you're going to get the job. The sad thing, in fact, is there is no proof. You might not get that job, but you might get 3 jobs later, which is the person who wants to accept you the way you are. You might want to wear Converse to work every day, and you might be the CEO, but you want to wear Converse every day. The 3rd job might be the one that lets you do that because you did it. I think that's
basically, it acts like a fantastic filter, because the people who embrace you for who you are will come forward, and you will get rid of all these stupid people who don't fit in your vibe. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, your tribe will get your vibe. That's why I like to say. Very that. Like, and the truth is, like, this is why, like, I think you guys have got an incredible community. I'm really blown away by your community, and I really am. Like, it's really good. And you are the fact that you all disagree with what I was saying at the beginning in regards to that, and it's a good thing. I said to you, like, disagreement shows me that there's a real community there. If you just say yes, then it's wrong. You guys in this thing. My goal is that by the end of this call, I said to my wife, I was like, I know what I know, and I know it's right. It's not right. It's right for what I believe, and I know that your guys are going to get a shitload of value from it, and I'll most likely convert 90 to 95%. But the 5% who I don't convert into my way of thinking, or that will get my head around that visibility ability, you guys are right for you. And that's the thing, but you're right for you. And that means that you're not my tribe. You didn't get my vibe. And that's okay for both of us to just part ways and go somewhere else. And I think that's the hardest thing no one gets. We try to please everybody. And by pleasing everybody, we genuinely end up pleasing nobody. Whereas when you say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, like I said before, I'm covered in tattoos. And the reason I do it is for 2 reasons. If I'm at the beach, or I don't go to the beach, I hate the beach. If I'm at the pool, I've got like a bodysuit, like literally like 60-50% of my body is covered in tattoos. I get two types of reactions. People come up to me, oh my God, can I have a photo with you? Because your body, like it's incredible. Like, because I've never seen anything like it. It's one tattoo, it's completely covered. It's about 200 hours. And yeah,
I'm gonna say it's
200 hours.
Ouch.
And we're still going. Or I get the other thing, which is parents walking past going, oh, don't talk to that weird guy. God, and that's disgusting. And I love that, because that means I know that if you think it's disgusting, I respect that. That's not a bad thing. That's just their opinion. And they're just, it's all right. I don't have to please you. But the ones who love it, are the ones who are my vibe. There's another thing. There's another chance that we've got more in common. And I think that's the thing that nobody does. And that's where personal branding is scary, because I think we're scared, the people, that when we do that, no one's going to show up.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest fear. But they will. Like you guys here, like I'm already like, Nina, me and you have spoken through LinkedIn, but I'm already like, I've seen you on LinkedIn, but I don't pay much attention because I'm busy and we do this. But already after this, I'm thinking, well, you two are two people that would fit into my idea of good people. So I'm going to be more focused on what you do. And that's the type of thing that happens. You want to share with everybody. Does that make sense?
Totally.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we say as well, because the thing that you're trying to hide is probably the thing that people want to embrace you for. But as long as you keep hiding it, we're never going to know.
Yeah. I did my insurance with a guy because he had a Lego Death Star behind him. That's the type of stuff that makes a big difference. I like Star Wars and I like Lego as a kid. And he had Lego Death Star like on his shelf behind him when we were Zoom calling. And I was like,
whoa.
Right? Because I was like, it's relatable. Whereas my dad would go, oh, guy with his Star Wars toy behind his head. Can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got next person, Just Meet. How do we keep the content consistent to continue engaging people? Also, do we use different content for different platforms?
Okay.
I think she just came in. She came in a bit late. Yeah.
That's fine. I'd love to hear your opinion because you guys are marketers as well. So, this is your thing. I'd like to hear your opinion after I've said mine, but because whether you agree, because I don't know, but how do you keep the content consistent to continue engaging people? I pick one topic. I use things like Answer the Public and things like that so that you make sure you're answering the questions that are most searched. You can use SEMrush and things like that. But make sure you're answering questions that around your niche that people are asking as opposed to ones that you think they want. That's the big mistake I see a lot of people do. But it's quite simple. I keep content below 1 minute. So how do you keep it engaging? Again, from an optimized psychology optimization point of view, not YouTube. If you're doing YouTube, then different rules apply. But like LinkedIn, most of these people are doing something busy. So when you squeeze it down, I try to keep my content below 30 seconds, minute if I'm really bad. And the reason why I do that, I do it every day. The reason why I do that though is, answer the other question, also do we use different content? No, I don't. Because this is where I disagree with Gary Vee. He's like, make contextual relevant content on all platforms. That's brilliant when you're a multimillionaire and paying lots of people to do it. But when I make one video for LinkedIn, and then I post it onto Instagram, TikTok, well, I don't put TikTok, I do TikTok differently, but Instagram, Facebook, into all the groups, do that, but make one video. You don't need to repurpose it. I just do one video, less than a minute, every single day in your right brand colors, and that's it. And don't overcomplicate it. Really cut back. Like if you're going to educate yourself, like one topic. So 5 tips. Don't do that. Just do one tip. That's 5 videos. That's how I myself.
Wow. Okay, got it. I absolutely agree with you. I kind of suck at my Instagram. I was good at it, and my Facebook is absolutely suffering. Every part of my energy is going into LinkedIn because I love it. And how I do. I subscribe with Sujimi. He's one of our mentors as well. He's a vlogger and he's a Facebook influencer. He says that you focus on one platform until you get super big. By then, we're making shitloads of money. We're like Gary Vee, and then you go to other platforms.
100%.
So
it makes sense.
But to be consistent, I think is a challenge because we're so busy. But you gotta put that time aside, and you gotta want it. Yeah.
God, man, I'm going to cut you in otherwise. Sorry, you got a good point.
Go ahead.
I kind of agree with Nina as well because we came from an environment where we were trying to go multi-platform in the beginning. And it was really taking a lot of our time, a lot of our energy, and then we were like everywhere. So when I was reintroduced back to LinkedIn in early 2019, I said, that's it. This is the one platform I'm going to focus on, right? The rest, when I have the time to do it, I'll go and do it.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, I think. You've got to look at it, and this is why LinkedIn for me, it's LinkedIn, TikTok, and podcasting always. LinkedIn, TikTok, and podcast. I've started doing YouTube. YouTube is just so hard. It's such a time thing to get it good. But what I've noticed with this stuff, and this is what you say about consumer behavior, You need to build your name. You're so right. Build your name on a platform, and then you can migrate them to others. But the problem is that's why, for me, it's TikTok and LinkedIn, because TikTok, the rate of growth for a following, if you're good at it, is insane. And LinkedIn's not so much, but the quality is there. So that's why, like, people like Facebook, Instagram, like, I have no time for that. I purely use Instagram stories because I'm practicing for when LinkedIn stories finally comes to
right. Okay.
But at that point, I'll probably, and I do get some clients from Facebook and Instagram, 1 or 2, which I could probably count maybe 5 in the 6 months I've been doing it that I've got from Facebook and Instagram, which is quite a bit of money still. Like, that's quite a bit of money with a baby on the way to say, okay, let's cut it completely. But I just repurpose stuff. I don't put any thought into it. This sounds awful. Anyone's listening to on Facebook, but I don't. It's all LinkedIn and TikTok. I get live on TikTok every day, and I post 3 TikToks every day, because I think TikTok is the future of social media. Not it, but the way that we consume content that way has been proven that people like it. And so whether TikTok is or isn't is irrelevant. The way its algorithm works is unlike anything ever seen.
Algorithm is crazy.
Yeah.
We love it. Do you know that it was a news site, a news aggregator? It started as a news aggregator. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the best. It is the future. Like I was saying to someone before, I said, if Facebook is the horse and cart, TikTok is the car. TikTok is the future of social media, and that is why they're trying to ban it in America. No other reason other than the four tech giants, Microsoft, Google. So you've got Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Amazon, all American. And China has come along with they don't use the traditional social net kind of system. They have a curated algorithm that is, the AI is off the charts in comparison to what they do. And so, like, I would say to everyone, the one biggest mistake I have done is I didn't go on TikTok when Gary Vee was talking about it a year ago. That's what I should have done, because that's where, if you want a big following, that's where it's coming.
Okay, got it. Okay. We've got 2 more questions. Keanu is asking, what about network marketing, multi-level marketing distributors? Can they build a personal brand effectively? I'm sure they can. We know evidence.
Yeah, everyone can.
Okay.
They can. I've got funny one with it.
What's your view?
Yeah, network, multi-level marketing. This is sadly killed. I hate this type of business plan. Sorry, guys. And I will tell you what, I hate this type of business plan, but it is also the perfect business plan for personal brand success. If you want, this is the thing that frustrates me with these. I'd never do them, because if I'm going to sell something, I'd rather sell something that I've made instead of something that I wouldn't do it for someone else. But the ones who are successful, when you say there's always examples, the people you see, if you're in a multi-level, I love when they call it multi-level, it's pyramid. Let's go pyramid selling. So when you go to those events and you see the people who are the $1 million clubs, they are all building strong personal brands. It's not the products that are selling it, it's them. But if this is where Facebook, I'm talking about when talking about Facebook being a bad thing. If you are selling your products on Facebook, you sell to your friends and family, and guess what? Your business dries out, and you upset everybody, you annoy them. What you should be doing, if I was doing it, so say it was a company that sold makeup products, I would be creating a personal brand around myself, doing makeup, putting makeup on, but the products I'm using, subliminal selling, not direct selling, subliminal selling, the products I'm using is these products. The bottle I'm drinking has the brand on it. Subliminal brand touch points that I'm not saying buy my stuff, but I'm saying this is how you do great makeup. This is how you do great health stuff. So that's how personal branding is, in my opinion, the only way those things work without upsetting a lot of people. 100%. If you can do it for a personal brand, you build a YouTube channel or a LinkedIn page or whatever. But if you start selling them, sadly, those things get a lot of bad press. So the moment you even mention it, the people go, no.
Right.
You know what I mean? I saw a meme on Facebook saying 2 meters social distance. It was like 1 meter for friends and family, 2 meters for strangers, and 300 meters for anyone doing network marketing. And I was like, because they've come out like a plague in the coronavirus right now.
Wow, really? Okay.
In the UK, it's really bad. There were lots of them. But I do think that what's your view on how network marketing, if you build a personal brand and you try so hard not to try and sell the products, because it's all about not selling. Building reciprocity. Reciprocity is if I give you something without expecting something in return, then you will give me something back. That's what reciprocity is. It's a natural social influence principle. But the biggest way, and that's why, like, if I bought you a birthday gift, you feel like you should give me a gift back. Usually the same value or higher. This is the problem with these social selling things, is if you say to someone, this is my video, contact me if you want to buy my course, then you actually, in our mind, and from a psychology point of view, we remove the reciprocity thing, because you're not giving me something without expecting something, without not expecting anything in return. You're giving me something wanting me to buy. So naturally, we watch it differently, we read it differently. It's really weird. And that's what the social selling people don't seem to get their heads around, is you should just do product reviews without trying to sell. You should just do tutorials without trying to sell, and you will sell. People will buy it.
Exactly. Okay. So another question from Marissa. People in insurance recruitment, what are ideas for them to brand themselves? What kind of posts should they be sharing?
So you want to, if you're insurance recruitment, recruiters are a funny one. So I think insurance recruitment, people go wrong with this. I had a client who was a recruiter, and he was in tech. So I'd say the same with insurance is they talk about their niche. So I'm an insurance recruiter, so I'm going to talk about insurance. That's not your job. You're a recruiter. So talk about recruitment. Talk about recruitment law. Talk about, like, what's the difference in contracts? How do they work? What is the sick pay standards? What are talk about stuff that the insurance recruit won't know. This is where I see people go wrong with recruitment, is they post content relevant to their niche. So they might post content. So effectively what they're doing is trying to teach the experts. You run the risk of you losing credibility, because if you get it wrong, you get it wrong, because you're posting recruitment insurance stuff saying this is right, look at this thing, and then you're going, actually, no, it's not. Whereas what I would be doing is going, what I said to one of my client who was a recruiter, I was like, post about recruitment law, post about what is the turnaround from how much notice do people need to give, how much, because people don't know this stuff. So you need to add value. You need to add value, which will build reciprocity and build your authority. So if you want to be known as the best recruiter, you should know the most about recruitment, or visibility, be visible enough to look like you know the most about recruitment. And that don't talk about your industry niche, talk about your job. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. Do you use a social media management system to help with posting? Just wondering.
No, I do. But what ones I do, but I don't use them. But I have like a yearly subscription to 2. So I have.
But you don't use them.
I had Hootsuite. Massively overpriced for what it is. They know that. Hootsuite was the first, pretty much, wasn't it? I remember when Hootsuite was free. So that makes me a bit sad.
There's still some free ones, except you can only use 3.
Yeah, like they are. I use Zoho. So if I do use one, I use Zoho. So Zoho is really good. It's competitively priced, and they allow you to do repeat posts, which is a game changer in comparison to Hootsuite. Because Hootsuite, if you want to do something that repeats every month, Hootsuite, you have to do it every month. So if you're using Twitter and you're pushing out your links, you can do it every week, repeat it every week, and you can really compound so that your Twitter account is pushing out like 30, 40 tweets of just links, just link building for SEO purposes. So I would say Zoho is my favorite one, but personally, then this may be interesting to hear with you, Nina, is the only reason I don't use them is I can't schedule videos to LinkedIn.
That's why I don't use them either.
It's funny for me because I only do videos and I really only do LinkedIn, so kind of pointless.
There you go. kind of wasted. Okay, moving along to our questions. Now that we know that visibility and obviously ability is given, how can we quickly get started on visibility? What are the important steps to take? Where is this where you implement the personal brand discovery, social influence, and content strategy? What are the steps we can do?
So what are the steps you do with visibility? The first thing is what I say with clients is identify what it is you stand for and what it is you stand against. So what is it that you're going to be? So I want to be really like pigeonhole yourself in your mind. So you have to think, well, I want people to know me for personal branding. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest thing. We jump straight to activity without working on the offer or the research. So we need to work on our offer and work on our strategy. And then we do activity. So the first thing is like me, I want to be known for personal branding, or I want to be known for insurance recruitment. Cool. So that means I don't want to be known for anything else around that, just that. So that's the first thing. Define what you want to be known for, and also more importantly, what you don't want to be known for. And then define your platforms. So as we said before, what are you going to go on? Are you going to go all in on one? Are you going to go all in on one, but use a repurposing strategy to push to all of them, which is what I do. Doesn't take much extra time, really, an extra 5 minutes each day if you're going to do it. And at that point, then, once you've defined what you want to go with, the visibility thing, without trying to get too deep, because this is like, to be fair, this is what I teach, and it takes 6-7 weeks to get through a lot of this stuff. And I don't want to throw stuff that's you're going to make you guys go, I'm a bit confused. But realistically, if you start posting and post every single day, I really do mean that. Like I say to clients sometimes, you can post 3 times a week, whatever, but post every single day around one topic. That's it. In your social on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the best one, I think, for it. But like if it's TikTok, so I just do because I'm very into TikTok right now in regards to how it's working, 3 times a day. So don't do one a day. It's not enough. You need to do 3 times a day on TikTok. But that's really easy because they're like the effort that it takes to make 3 TikToks is less effort than it takes to make a
one video.
One video. Yeah, it's really easy.
How do you discover a person's personal brand, though?
Okay, so how you discover a personal brand is very more in depth. So how I would do it is I work with people through what we call a personal brand. We create what we call a personal brand portfolio, which consists of a personal brand profile, which is your goals, your missions, your needs. So your goals, missions, needs, and visions. So your mission is what you wake up every single day. And this is stuff to define. Your mission is what you wake up every day to do. You wake up every morning to do that. Your goals are 3 tangible goals that you're striving towards. These are the only 3. Don't do more than 3. Don't do less than 3. And your vision, and this is where people get wrong sometimes, and your vision is if you woke up every day, did your mission, and achieved your goals, what would that world look like? And that's the vision. And then your needs are, you then identify your needs. Your needs are, what do I need to be happy? So money is always going to be one of them, but then it's other things, creativity, whatever, 3 needs. When you identify that, you get a really good, I've turned down jobs purely from having these written down because I know what I stand for. You're starting to see now,
right.
Do I do it? So when I look at something, you offer me a job, I get consultancy work, and I'm like, is it going to take me a step? Does it fulfill my mission? No. Does it take me towards my goals? No. Is it taking me towards my vision? No. Okay, I'm not going to do it. So that's how you start with it. Then you look at what you call your brand ecosystem. This is a very top level stuff. Like your brand ecosystem is built of 5 things, and that is your physical identity, your digital identity, your story, your network, and social proof. Now, all 5 of those things, to create a successful personal brand, all 5 of those things need to be, I say it's like a sled dog. Like imagine 5 huskies pulling a sled. They've all got to pull in the same direction, all of them. And you have to be on this and clean this up all the time. So that's where I say, if your physical identity doesn't match your digital identity, in other words, if you don't look the same in real life as you do in online, disconnect. Same thing. Yeah, straight away. They need to be like that. Same with your story. If you are coming across if I'm the eccentric guy, and I think I see this with Simon Sinek, he does it all the time. We talk about Tiger Woods. If you pretend Tiger Woods, we didn't like Tiger Woods because we believed that he was the family man who's having lots of affairs. Now, we don't care that he had affairs. We just care that he lied about his brand and it caused us mistrust. Whereas in the UK, we have a guy called Russell Brand. Don't know if you guys know Russell Brand. Yes. Russell Brand is like, he's like a very out there, talks about drugs and all this weird stuff. But we don't care because we expect that from him. It's part of his brand. So that's your story. So your physical image, digital identity, and your story all should be in line. Same with your network. Your network should be things like, we're talking about personal branding. I'm talking to you guys. This strengthens my network. It strengthens that I'm talking to you guys. You guys work in branding. You guys work in social. You like LinkedIn. The two of us, if we were talking and we were talking about farming, that would not strengthen our brand. People would go, okay, why are they doing that? And then the final one is social proof, which is done by social influence, which is the other thing, which will say is walk the walk. So enough people, that's your visibility and ability. Enough people have done it that you go, well, yeah, look, everybody uses me. I've got a #1 ranked podcast on Spotify. I've got all of these different things, 53 reviews in 6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. All of these things create social proof. And when you create social proof, all of them all together, the social proof proves that all the other 4 things are correct and that they're in line. Your brand will build. And then it's like a plant. You just have to water it every day and make sure. But I would say to people, keeping on top of those things is really important. That's probably like the most important thing of all of them. There's lots of other stuff, but keeping on top of those 5 things to make sure they're always doing the same is vital. I said to my clients, we'll work on it once, but you tidy your bedroom or your room once or house once, but you got to keep tidying it. Otherwise it gets messy. And it's exactly.
How often should you look at it again and again?
Once a month, I would say. I do once a month. I do a brand audit once a month. I spend about 2 hours. I mean, this is my job, so it's a bit different. Some people, at least once a quarter. I look and I go, because you do a digital audit as well, and I look and I go, okay, so looking at all of these things, has this month's content been on brand? Does it go in line with my vision? Does it go in line with my goals? Does it, and don't get me wrong, like when you're in the thick of it every single day, you think you're doing stuff that's relevant to your brand, but it's not. And that's the thing I'd say is, and then the other thing with that then is focus on one thing. So like what I mean by that is like why I did really well was I was doing lives. I mean, it's built up now, but I was doing lives. I was doing YouTube videos, doing podcasts, doing this. I didn't really know why. I just was doing it because I'd watched a lot of Gary Vee. I love Gary Vee. And I was like, you got to go live. But the truth was, I didn't know why I was doing it. So back before coronavirus hit, like January, I said to my wife, I was like, I'm just going to make a 1-minute video every day on LinkedIn, every day. I'm not going to miss it. I'm just going to do it every single day. And I'm going to release my podcast as well because I love podcasts. So I was like, I'm going to do my podcast and a 1-minute video on LinkedIn. And I'm not going to do live because I'm only doing it because other people are telling me I should. Or I'm only doing it because, whereas I was like, with 1-minute videos, I do it because I believe you should be better. You should get yourself 1% better every day. And this was making me, because I was learning new things, 1% better every day. When I did that, that's really easy then to monitor with your brand audit because I'm only going to make sure that my 1-minute video is kept in line. It's getting harder now. I have a blog, I have a YouTube channel, I have a live show, I have a podcast, TikToks. It's a lot harder. So it does take about 2 or 3 hours to do it. But start with one thing, get it really good.
And then expand.
Like an orchestra. Don't try. Start with the violins, then bring in the oboes, then bring in the flutes. Don't jump in on page 50 of the score and think you're going to do well because you're not. You're just going to go, whoa, what's going on? And that's what's going to happen until when you know the foundation is there, and when you're bored, that's the trick. When you're bored and you can do it in your sleep. So when you can do a 5-minute video, a 1-minute video in 5 minutes, okay, now bring in something else that creatively challenges you.
Okay. That's so true. Okay, since we don't have a lot of time, I do have one more question to ask you. We hear so many good things about visibility and personal branding. Are there any bad examples of things going wrong? Can it go wrong? What do we need to look out for?
Well, like with the visibility versus personal branding, or just personal branding in general?
Both, anything in general.
I think the visibility, all of this stuff is happening. Where it goes wrong is when you haven't took control of it. That's the biggest thing. I see this happen a lot. So if you haven't decided what it is you stand for and what it is you want to be, the narrative, think of it like that book, the narrative is being written in other people's brains. That narrative is being written, grocery shopping, is being written without you. So the biggest thing I see people do wrong is really, and with the visibility, is it's all great jumping into being visible, but make sure you know what it is you're trying to show them. Because actually visibility can be a really bad thing if you are not really sure on what your message is. Because you can damage your business massively. Because if you've got an all right kind of brand, people go, oh, I kind of know because of word of mouth. And then you jump in and you're showing me videos of you cycling or going to the gym or walking a dog, or you could do more damage than good. So visibility is a brilliant tool when you know how to use it. But you have to be laser focused. And I think that is where I say the bad examples. This is another one I say with this, a bad example. We all have a friend on our Facebook or LinkedIn who thinks they're a motivational speaker. We all have them. Everybody, I know they're laughing. We all have them. And the problem with this is that's the one thing I'd say, that the cardinal sin of personal brand, stick to your lane. So what I'm talking to you guys about now, that has motivational elements. There's some of the stuff I've said in here, have said in this podcast, like be you, do. But the reason why it works, and the reason why it works for you guys with your community, is there's substance behind it. There's a mutual thing. They want to learn how to make their brand pop out online. So because they want to make their brand pop out online, the motivation comes through contextual relevance. But the problem I see with a lot of people is they start posting content about their niche, works really, really well, and then they get a little bit high on their own supply. They're like, people are finding me motivational. I get told I'm motivational every day, but I'm not a motivational speaker. That's not what I do. And then they go, I'm motivational. So then they start doing videos about, did you see the Michael Jordan documentary? And it got me, I don't know, no one cares. Talk about your brand. Talk about your specific niche, and you will motivate the people who are interested in your topic. And I think that's the biggest failure I see. Gary Vaynerchuk still is not a motivational speaker. He talks about it all the time. He's not. There is a motivational speaker is not a job. It's not a job. Like there are motivational people who have motivational stories, and I think that's where I see people. That is if you pull like look underneath the bonnet. That they want you to believe that if you just quote motivational quotes, don't put quotes out there. That's another thing. Don't put quotes out on your content unless it's your quotes. If I see that, it's like it's basic. It's so basic that it's like, everyone's doing it. Quote what you say. You guys have said some incredible things in this hour, like that I could literally be like, quote, and use them in content. Saying, Nina said this, but the amount of people who, I think that's the biggest thing I find, too much visibility, not understanding how to use it, and thinking that they get caught up of, people like what I'm saying, so I'm just going to be motivational. They like what you're saying because you are talking about a niche they're interested in. That's it.
Okay, got it. Okay, so before we go into the rapid fire, what's next for you? What does the future hold for Ash Borland?
I don't really know. Loads of stuff, to be fair.
Well, you've got a recording studio setting up.
Yes, I'm getting the world's most comprehensive shed. I said I wanted to build a shed, and I said to my dad, "Let's build a shed." And my dad's an engineer, was an engineer. My shed is a house. It literally is building regulation grade. You can live in it.
Wow. Okay, for a shed.
Like this thick, and so I'm having a content studio built, which is going to allow me to create content at scale. My goal is, my plans are, I'm currently launching, so I do a one-to-one teaching, one-to-one coaching and consulting, but I've just starting my kind of online courses. I've been really funny about not doing them because I'm not a fan of them. However, I'm not a fan of them until you've created enough social proof. I wanted to work with people one-on-one, understand it. But what I'm noticing is at my expense, I'm very expensive, not that expensive, but like, I'm very cheap comparison, but like it's quite expensive for the average person. And also I'm very limited to a lot of people I follow are in Asia, and a lot of people, because of the Asian market is incredible for social, because idiotically the Western world has consistently outsource their social media and VA work out to the Asian communities.
We're one of the biggest countries for animation.
Yeah.
One of the best ones, yeah.
And that is the Western world's downfall, hugely, because they have not realized, they've constantly gone, we don't need it, we'll just outsource it, we'll outsource it, it's cheap. But now the Asian market are incredible at it. They know it more than anyone else. The Asian market understand personal brand more than anybody else. You know, India, Pakistan, like they get it, like they really get it. Whereas they don't really over here. And so, like, my courses, I'm looking at like low ticket items, you know, like accelerator, personal brand accelerator things that are like affordable that people can do all over the world. So that's coming out. I'm not looking to launch it till January because it's pretty comprehensive. I've got like premium packages and I don't do things half measures, but that's the goal, and still pushing the podcast as well.
Okay, sounds fantastic. Good luck. Keep us posted. Give us a tour. Send a video.
For that, guys,
yeah.
Just want to say this to everyone, guys. Asian market is huge.
Oh yeah,
Asian market is huge. That's what it is.
Ash, I also want to ask like a question for our Asian people, because a lot of them think that they will only go as far as Malaysia, whatever country they're at. But we see like a whole global market. Is there anything you want to say to that?
I say that so an example of this, I am English, live in the UK, and the guy that I follow, this is what I mean, like what you talk about, if I go hashtag personal branding, where are you? The top on TikTok, personal branding is a guy called, is it Pratik? So this guy,
I know him.
He is amazing. So I watch a lot of content from him. I think he's brilliant. And so when I say this with the Asian market, the world is, I know what you mean with this idea of like maybe you can feel like it's very, the Western have got it and we're never going to push past that. But the truth is, I completely disagree. And I think the world is going to change in the next 10 years. I think that the rise of, you guys have got some incredibles. Like, I'm a big esports fan, so this is really cool. You had the esports, the Asian market is huge with that. The digital world, we are living through what I would call the digital revolution. It's like the industrial revolution, and we're in the digital revolution. And Asian community, the Asian community, you are the best at it. You are the best at it. So right now it is that be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. If you are, you're good at what you do, keep going. The only thing I would say, if you build it, because the only thing I'd say with the Asians, which always upsets me, is that you charge a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than what it is over here. And the truth is with that, and I'm gonna like say is, I don't think you should. Like, they should pay the quality that if you're a crappy one on Fiverr, don't get me wrong, like there is some crap, but some of the work that you do is better than any other work out in the UK and in the Western world. You shouldn't be charging. I mean, I don't know, because I don't understand the politics of it, but I always look at it and think, that's really sad. Like, you should be charging. You should know what you're worth in the global market. But I think the only way you're going to get that right now is by building a personal brand, because I think you need to be the guy, because otherwise I think from a stereotypical point of view, people will just say, well, I'll just get you from Fiverr because it's this or whatever. But I really do think if you build a personal brand on social marketing, anything like that, you can make big money.
Thank you very much. I can tell you why it's a big stumbling block for a lot of Asians, because we have this limiting belief of I'm not worthy enough. It's somewhere in there. Yeah. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Yeah.
I see it a lot. all the time. A lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn are Asian, like saying that because they're interested in this stuff, because they're trying to better themselves. And I think that you guys are amazing at what you do. Like I can't do the graphic design, everything, the stuff that the Asian community do. I think you're right. There is a limiting belief, and that's the only thing. Go global, 100%.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Rapid fire round. Sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you. What are 3 things a business or an individual can immediately implement with respect to visibility and personal branding? 3 things.
3 things. Post every day. Post every day, engage every day. There's another thing. Post every day, but also engage on other people's comments every single day. And what'll be a third one? Visibility. I mean, posting every day. Also, I would apply for LinkedIn Live. Silly as that sounds, if you haven't already, I would apply for LinkedIn Live. I'm doing this to LinkedIn specific because you guys are LinkedIn. But for visibility, if you engage every single day on LinkedIn, what's amazing with that is that increases your visibility because your name comes up at the top. So you don't need to only post once. Don't post any more than once because the algorithm doesn't really like it. But post once a day. Engage. I post once a day and I engage on 25 people's posts a day.
Wow.
So
okay.
That's how I do it every day. And then I would apply for LinkedIn Live. And if do you have LinkedIn Stories?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
We have it in Australia, but not in Malaysia yet.
When you guys get it, I think you'll probably get it at the same time we do. This absolutely kill it. Like go all in on LinkedIn Stories. That will smash your visibility because 90% of that platform won't even know what it is.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah. So basically practice on Instagram Stories and start using it when it hits Malaysia. Okay. What are some of the best practices you've seen with respect to visibility and personal branding that people can learn from and adopt into their business? Would that be the same one?
Similar thing, but I mean some of the best practices I've seen. There's a great I think Gary Vaynerchuk is a great version of that. I think he's very, very good. I think he, in my opinion, he's the only one really getting it right. I really do believe that. Like the scale at which it goes. I mean, not take what he does and water it down to your thing, but that's a really good example. I think a lot of things he does I don't agree with, but that thing I do. Like on the visibility, you can't turn on a social platform without seeing him. He's impossible. Like even today, when you started, he was there. I was like, bloody hell, he's on your live. Like he's there, and I think that's what I would say. He's a living example. But he does what we just said, those three things on every platform, and that's why he does it. So I would say he's the only one. He's the only one doing it to the scale in which they succeed. Well, there's actually a video gamer guy called Courage. He's worth looking at as well. He's not in regards to gaming, but in regards to like social scale. I'd look outside of your industry. That's a real trick with that. Don't look at like people in your industry doing it. Look at like YouTubers, content creators who are big. What are they doing, and how can you put it into your industry?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Okay, if you had one advice to give someone out there with respect to running their business in a post-pandemic era, what would it be?
Build your personal brand.
Okay, got that. Okay, Viv is saying Cuffs does graphic design and more. Just saying. Okay. Well,
good. Make sure you go global.
Yeah, and make sure you charge international price. Okay, Viv. Yeah. I'm popping up. Okay, Ash, thank you so much. I think we took 15 minutes extra of your time, but thank you so much. Yeah, we're so grateful. Yeah, the stuff that you're sharing is just so amazing, and the questions are just blowing through the roof. I can't even go to all of them, kind of thing. But thank you. Amien, you want to say something?
For me, if I were to summarize it, is be comfortable with your superpower. That's the one thing I feel like.
Find your superpower and be comfortable with it.
Yeah, and I got quite a lot of confirmation. It's good to have confirmation. Especially on overcoming your own fear. Right.
I think
I like the way how you do things, which is at the end of the day, it goes back to the mind. It goes back to the attitude. Right? So we can align with this. See?
A lot of this stuff is basic. I remember one of my clients said to me one of my clients said, "It's so basic, we've forgotten how to do it. Trust your human instinct. Go back to human instincts. That's all it is." You said about school, that's what I really love. You're right. That was when we were primal. That was when we were there, and it works. And then we kind of teach ourselves that it's not. Well, the truth is, it is. So go back to that. But you guys are killing it. I've loved this. Has been brilliant. Loved it.
Thank you. It makes us feel good because we're getting feedback from our international speakers that this is like TV great, and we're like, whoa.
This really is. It really, really is. If I was having guests on my podcast, I would have brought you on, but I've stopped doing that. So.
Okay, no worries. Next one, when you decide to have it on.
I will do guests. I might do something like that. But yeah, that's you guys.
Okay, we've decided that also when it's okay to travel again. We don't know what year it'll be, but you guys are lucky because where you are at is where the vaccine is being done, right? It's being
literally right where I am.
Yeah, exactly. So when things are okay to travel, let us know if you're coming to Malaysia. We'll get the community to babysit you.
Oh yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, and us too, of course. Yeah.
I think that I will end up coming to your neck of the woods anyway, because like I say, you guys are so forward in this stuff that I think, some of the speaking stuff that people have approached me with has been in Asia, Malaysia, India. So I think that will be definitely in the cards.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Right.
So make sure you get in touch with us. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Ash.
Okay, thank you, Ash.
Super insightful session.
So round of applause, right? Well done.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was a super insightful session. Visibility is definitely more important than ability, but make sure you have ability in the first place. Okay. Now let's give Rash another round of applause. Make sure you guys follow him on social media. That will be LinkedIn, Ash Borland. Okay.
Borland.
So what's
He's also
happening
in TikTok. I actually just followed your TikTok just now. Right.
Okay.
So
and Rohan,
check him
make
out.
sure you send him a message with the link to your videos, okay? Because his wife wants to see it. Now, what's happening the rest of the week? I'm in.
Okay, don't forget that this Saturday and next Wednesday on the Malaysia Day, right? As we're celebrating Malaysia Day, we are actually having the Intensive Killer All-Star LinkedIn profile. Now, if you feel that your LinkedIn profile is below par, you guys need to go for this. Actually, what we actually do in this program is that we actually cover a little bit of what Ash said just now, right? Where you want to get a little bit of clarity on your personal branding before you actually embark into the LinkedIn journey, right? And then after that, we also have Nina.
We also have one husband
husband
who's going to be talking about marketing our culture to the world. Now, remember we said that a lot of YouTube influencers feel that they're only big enough to go in Malaysia. Well, guess what? We've got one husband who's marketing our Malaysian culture to the world in his video game business. So if you think you're only as good as Malaysia level, think again. Not just Ash Borland is saying we're getting big, but one husband is actually doing it. Believe it or not, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 has roti canai and teh tarik in it because of one husband.
Wow.
Yes, exactly.
Here's the thing, I kind of like our direction where we're actually getting a lot more Malaysians coming in as well.
Yeah,
and so we kind of underestimate that Malaysia is actually quite a
Malaysians are amazing. We've got people who are doing amazing animation work, which is Hollywood level, okay, kind of thing. So if you guys think you're not good enough, you're only, level tahap jago kampung or Malaysian, think again. You guys are amazing and you need to start talking that way, okay? No more negative talks. That sort of thing. Okay. Who else do we have next?
Yasmin is coming up the following week after that. Right?
Awesome.
She's also a podcaster.
Yeah, she's a podcaster, and we're going to be talking about remote selling 101, which is definitely a skill that we need because of the post-pandemic, and discover the top 3 skills you need to sell remotely, okay? So definitely you want to tune in for that. Apart from that, there are some comments here. Bakso, wow, thank you for tuning in. I don't know if this is your first time joining us. Bharati is also here. He's saying, I have a lovely smile, yay! Amin doesn't have a lovely smile. Okay. Yes, we have also just saying. Okay, we also have the Okay, wait. I have a question to ask. If popularity is what you need to be successful on LinkedIn, during school time, were you popular or were you unpopular? Were you the bulu dipilih or tidak dipilih?
You're asking everyone or you're asking me?
No, just you. Oh, you guys as well can answer. Were you the popular people in school or were you not? I can tell you I definitely was.
I was the in-between. That's how
What do you mean by the in-between? You just want to get angry, right? And let's say to people, right?
Well, I was the corrupted pengawas in school. That's what I was. Okay. So whenever there's a sport check, whenever there's a sport check, I kind of help out all the budak-budak jahat. So the budak-budak jahat kind of love me.
Yeah, did the teachers figure that out?
No, they don't. So I'm very good at politics. I should embark in politics, maybe perhaps.
So basically, you were trying your luck to be loved and liked by people. That's what you were doing, isn't it?
I'm loved by everyone. That's what it is.
Okay. Well, we hope you found so much value from it. We did. We got so many gold nuggets from it. If you loved it, make sure you follow us on all our social media, PopConfest, and give us suggestions on who you want us to interview. Because sometimes we don't know that people like Ash Borland exists, and you want to hear from them. So let us know. We'll do the stalking for you, and we'll invite them to be on the show. Or you can also tell them, anyone that you like, anyone that you want to learn from, and we're just so grateful. This name actually came from Chising, actually, Ash Borland, because I was looking at the comment and stuff like that. So I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Semi-popular.
By the way, just a reminder, right? Follow us at PopConfest. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, YouTube, and also TikTok. Right? Check us out over there.
Asha, say thank you. Thank you, Asha. Thank you guys for tuning in. And you guys are awesome. Okay. And Viv is saying semi-popular band nerd librarian. Oh, Viv is a semi-popular. My God, you guys are all like rebels. That's all I can say. Popcorn people. Yeah, stay that way. Woohoo.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much. We'll see you guys again.
We'll see you guys again next week. Bye. Oh yeah, by the way, before I forgot, Happy Malaysia Day. All right, Happy Malaysia Day. It's on the 16th, which is next week. All right.
Yeah.
Enjoy the holiday, and Selamat Hari Malaysia. Bye, guys.
We love you. Bye. Bye.